So for right now, what I have is a follow-up of that compost tea from a few weeks ago. So I had cut in a previous video a bunch of the the comfrey leaves, and I had put them in this 5-gallon bucket in the corner to sit, covered it with water, so you can see that in the video actually called comfrey tea, compost tea, filled it with water, and now I never did find a lid that fit this bucket. So I just ended up putting a large planter on top that doesn't have holes in the bottom. So it ended up filling with water in some rain that we've gotten, but it did get weighed down. So I'm gonna take the lid off now. I have read and been told that it's very stinky, but that means that it's working. So we'll see how well this does in trying to utilize this compost tea. My own reflection of my phone here is going in on this. It's totally black. I'm gonna reach my hand down in here and lift the rock out. I had put a rock in here to weigh down all of the comfrey leaves. A bit trepidatious to put my hand in here amidst the leaves, but they have, yeah, when I pull them up, it's pretty much sludge, slime. There's really nothing left of the actual leaves. This water, it does smell once I move those comfrey leaves. It smells quite bad, and the water is dark. So it is indeed very, very, very stinky. I actually just went inside with my hand that I had stuck in the water, and I made my family smell it, and they were quite disgusted by me. So here I am in the front yard garden. That was the walk up too. I'm just going to take my watering can full of compost tea and water some things. I will water the hops, and then I think I'll go down and water the watermelon too. Those are two that are growing really well, and that very far end bed is where the watermelon are. Got lots and lots of tomatoes to gather up. My goodness, I gotta get out here. Lots of the cherry, blue cream berry, and then over there, lots of red brandywine, pink brandywine to be exact. So I'm back here underneath my birdhouse and purple martin gourd trellis arbor. It's a nice spot to sit in the sunshine and talk into the camera because the sun's not shining in my eyes. I watered my hops vines with that, and I watered my watermelon vines. I gave the Romas a little bit of compost tea. Then I also watered that sweet cherry pie cherry tree really well with the compost tea, and I watered my Edelweiss grapevines with the compost tea. So some of the things that I just thought would be nice to give them a boost. I did end up dumping the remainder of what was kind of a sludge just directly into one of the garden beds in the back, and I can go back and take a quick picture of that so you can see what remains of the compost. The comfrey leaves, I keep calling them compost leaves, is really a compost sludge that smells very bad. So that watering can smells kind of stinky now. It will now be an outdoor watering can. And I'm excited. I'm gonna actually take that 5-gallon pail and bring it over to a neighbor friend's house who's gonna use it to make her first batch of Comfrey Compost Tea. So once I get it back, maybe I'll try again for the fall. I did leave those leaves to sit in there for a month. I checked back on the date, and when I made that Comfrey Tea video the first time, it was July 22nd, and today is August 23rd. So it was almost exactly 4 weeks or 1 month from when I started it. I do not think you have to wait that long. If anyone's interested, they could certainly look it up on their own, because I'm still not quite very adept at looking things up and linking them. So you would probably want to Google how long you would leave it. But a month worked fine for me. It was a month sitting in the summer heat in zone 4 outside in a corner of my garden, and it did exactly what I read it would do. The leaves rotted, they stink, the water was black and sludgy, and that supposedly is a wonderful thing for my garden. So I'll take a quick shot of what they looked like once I dumped them out. This is really all that's left of the original comfrey leaves that you saw me put down in that first video. It is pretty much some of the stem material, and then the actual leaf material has completely decomposed. So I just dumped what was remaining of that little bit of water onto here, and then I'll just let this sit, because comfrey leaves also can just be kind of chop and drop in the garden. They're good for that. So I'm just gonna let this sit where it is in between these two jalapeno plants here. There's some tomatillos in the background, and we'll dig that in eventually. For right now, it's just kind of sitting there and it's a little bit stinky.